As Rahul Gandhi, the BJP, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, spar over the Rafale scam. Is this once again a convenient political tool for our politicians to put the taxpayer money down the drain? The monsoon session is on and the Rafale dogfight now seems that it is going to take the monsoon session with it. The fire on Rafale singes its ammunition on both the sides. Is the privilege versus privilege game now putting the parliament session in danger as well? Well, are the facts being absolutely hidden? Why is the government so cagey about bringing out the real details on Rafale? Just put this out in public domain, and is the Congress trying to make a scam where there is none? But as in this political season running up to the 2019 election, this seems to be convenient to both the opposition and the government. But the big question for this monsoon session is whether the Rafale dogfight, whether Rafale fire is going to singe this entire monsoon session. We'll discuss more on that on our burning question on India Today. We try and put the facts out so that you know what and how, which side is playing the electorate. I am Ankit Tyagi. Well, barely a week after a stormy no-confidence motion debate in the Lok Sabha over the contentious Rafale deal, the Congress is now likely to move a privilege motion against the Prime Minister or the Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, accusing them of misleading the Lok Sabha by not revealing the price of the fighter jets brought from France. Meanwhile, the BJP too is working on a privilege motion against Rahul Gandhi, accusing him of misleading the parliament. This after Congress alleged there was no secrecy clause in the 2008 pact between India and France that prevents the government from divulging the price of the jets. The centre, though, has claimed the secrecy clause does exist in the sensitive deal, a claim that has been echoed by the French government as well. Right, now let's take a look and take you through the heated exchange in the parliament after Rahul Gandhi accused the Prime Minister and the centre of misleading India by not divulging Rafale deal details.
Why this contract was taken away from HAL and the youngsters of Karnataka and given to a businessman who had a debt of 35,000 crores and has never ever built an aeroplane in his life. Now these are the things that the Prime Minister of India must explain. He must explain why a businessman has been favored.
देश को गुमराह करने का काम और इन्हीं विषयों पर, देश की सुरक्षा से जुड़े हुए विषयों पर ही इस प्रकार से खेल खेले जाते हैं। ये देश कभी माफ नहीं करेगा। ये कितना दुखद है कि इस सदन में लगाए गए आरोप पर दोनों देश को बयान जारी करना पड़ा। मैं समझता हूं और दोनों देश को खंडन करना पड़े। क्या ऐसी बचकाना हरकत हम करते रहेंगे क्या? कोई जिम्मेवारी है?
डिफेंस मिनिस्टर यहां बैठी हैं। डिफेंस मिनिस्टर यहां बैठी हैं। उन्होंने पहले कहा कि मैं देश को हवाई जहाज का दाम बताऊंगी। उसके बाद डिफेंस मिनिस्टर ने क्लियरली बोला कि मैं ये आंकड़ा नहीं दे सकती हूं क्योंकि फ्रांस की सरकार और हिंदुस्तान की सरकार के बीच में एक सीक्रेसी पैक्ट है और फ्रांस के राष्ट्रपति ने मुझे बताया कि ऐसा कोई पैक्ट हिंदुस्तान की सरकार और फ्रांस की सरकार के बीच में नहीं है। प्रधानमंत्री के दबाव में आकर निर्मला सीतारमण जी ने देश को झूठ बोला है।
This is what I've been very clearly taking from the inputs that I've received from my people. Is you have these commercial agreements. This can be double checked with the media. you have these commercial agreements, and obviously, this is the French president's words. You have these commercial agreements, and obviously, you have competitors. Obviously, you have competitors, and we can't let them know details of the deal. This is what the French president has said to an Indian media house, and what he said to the honorable member is immaterial here. There is no record, no proof, and he's just thrown it at me. Absolutely wrong.
If you carefully look at the pricing, they have sought to cover what would have been the contract value for 126 in 36. This needs to be answered. I have no hesitation to say, going by the record of this government, the contradictory statements and denials, that this is definitely a scam.
Rahul Gandhi needs to improve upon his homework. Now I have to add two categories more. His foreign policy understanding and his understanding of India's security strategic concerns also need to be upgraded.
So as both the BJP and the Congress take on each other on the Rafale deal, well, both threaten to bring out privilege motion against each other. What happens to the monsoon session is what we are asking today on the burning question. Is the BJP versus Congress Rafale dogfight ready to drown the monsoon session? Privilege versus privilege, political drama in the parliament at taxpayers' money expense. In fact, is Rafale going to be the Bofors for the BJP? Is the opposition now willing to hear the Rafale facts, or they've already made up their mind of a scam even before any investigations come through? And why is the government cagey about clearing the air on the Rafale deal? Well, let me introduce my guest on the show, Professor Rajiv Gowda, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha and spokesperson of the Congress Party, Gopal Agarwal, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, National Affairs Editor, Rahul Srivastav also joins us on the broadcast. And before I go to my political guest, I want to go to Rahul Srivastav. Rahul, for the benefit of our viewers, the fact here remains that the interview that Nirmala Sitharaman was quoting, the India Today interview of the French president, he also went ahead and said that there is nothing that stops the government of India to divulge the details if they want to. The fact, Rahul, is this now another fodder being used for political purposes for 2019 with absolutely no care about the legislative business in the parliament?
Ankit, basically, if you look at the entire Rafale episode, as far as the friction between the government and the opposition is concerned, there is one clear thing, that the Congress party, which was attacked by the BJP in the last few years, it lost elections primarily because of a strong anti-corruption wave, which was led by the BJP against the Congress party. The Congress thinks that Rafale is the one case it has got to paste on the doors of the BJP a corruption charge. Now, there is a bit of a problem which one can see from the outside, not going by any other versions which are being given by the Congress or the BJP, that if there is a secrecy clause, the government cannot tell. So the Congress is utilizing the fact, since the government can't tell, we can say that it is a scam.
Yes.
Beyond that, there are few things which the government needs, can possibly, one can actually argue about. One, the fact is that the sovereign deal between two sovereign nations was signed when Dr. Manmohan Singh was a Prime Minister. Dr. Manmohan Singh perhaps can come out and say whether what Mr. Antony is saying, what Mr. Rahul Gandhi is saying is right or not. That can perhaps settle the issue, because Dr. Manmohan Singh is a man of diplomacy also. The second could well be that the government can talk to the opposition and perhaps give them some details.
We'll divulge more on this, Rahul, on what are the options for the government. But it seems, at least on the onset, Gopal Agarwal, that the government is cagey about bringing out the facts. If there is absolutely nothing that the government needs to hide, why is the government not putting out the facts in public? The flip-flop, as of now, is giving an impression that there is something for the government to hide, and which is giving ammunition to the Congress party to call it a scam. We yet don't know whether there has been any sort of, misdoing as far as the Rafale deal is concerned.
So the issue is, Ankit, there are two issues which are being mixed in the debate, particularly by the Congress to create a wrong perception on the minds of the people. One thing is, what is the basic cost of 36 Rafale plane that the government of India has bought under the NDA? That Ravi Shankar Prasad ji again clarified that that has been very well clearly come out in the public domain. What is the price of the basic cost of the 36 Rafale planes? That is already 9% down, which was negotiated for 126 Rafale planes by UPA earlier, and that price has been already put on the floor of the parliament 3 times before. The issue now, the second part, which is being used by the Congress to create confusion, is that revealing the details of other add-ons, weaponries, contract for maintenance, training, technology transfers. All these details, they are saying that they are not being revealed. That's what the government is saying. That is part of the secrecy clause, which was signed by 2008 or not.
Okay.
And when, Ankit, you say that the president said that it is for the government of India to declare whatever they want to do. Yes, we agree, we are a sovereign nation. But as the Ravi Shankar Prasad and Defense Minister said, it is not in the national interest and security interest that we reveal the other technical details
Rajiv
of the
Gowda,
deal.
Rajiv Gowda, for the sake of politics, for the sake of politics, as the BJP spokesperson is saying, are you trying to push the government in the corner and putting the national security at peril? Their argument is that the basic price has been revealed. We can't reveal the packages, and that is well within the rights of the government and the company, because ultimately this entire agreement is not with a national company in France. It is a private Dassault aircraft systems, which is in fact the owner or the promoter for Rafale. The government says you are pushing them unnecessarily to reveal the prices of the packages, which of course are detrimental to national security.
We are doing nothing of that sort. We are focused on national security. We are focused on accountability of this government to the nation. We do not want our prime aircraft to be built by a capitalist who is a friend of the prime ministers and the BJPs, who has absolutely no experience, who has tens of thousands of crores worth of debt, including who is in trouble with China. We want to make sure that this pact is done in the manner that it should be done, and which we had proceeded to do, but which arbitrarily, without permission from the Cabinet Council on Security, you have the Prime Minister making arbitrary decisions, compromising national security, all for the sake of one crony capitalist supporter of this.
Professor Gowda, just let me come in, because you made a very pertinent point, and I want your response on that.
Let me finish, my friend.
Professor Gowda,
no.
You can't make sweeping statements and not expect anybody to interject. You are saying that this is being done, or it should have been done the way you did it. Well, the fact is, sir, that you did not reach an agreement with the French government. So that can't be called an agreement. Whatever the price was quoted, it was not sealed. The deal was not sealed. As far as Anil Ambani is concerned, or Reliance is concerned, the argument is that it is a deal between the company between both the companies, between two private companies. What's the role of the government? They very clearly say that the Rafale, they don't want to work with HAL because it is substandard. Why are you putting that on the government?
Tell me. I'm sorry, my friend, the government, it is in the interest of our national security for the government to make sure that whatever offset contracts are given to private companies in India are given to companies that qualify on the basis of track record, etc. You cannot say, okay, it's a private sector deal, government has nothing to do with it, give it to the local Gujri shop, they'll do something. That is not the point. The point is the government must make sure that whatever offsets are done. What happened to the technology transfer, my friend? What happened to 108 aircraft that were going to be built in India? Okay, all those are gone, and we're happy to let that go without any formal procedures being followed, just because it's Modi, because we all love him so much. Come on, my friend, look at the fact that what they're hiding under. Right from the day of Watergate, you know that cover up is really where people stumble, right? And this government is stumbling in its efforts to cover up whatever else has been going on behind the scenes.
Rahul
we are not
Srivastava,
asking
is that
for
what is happening
details,
with the government?
Details.
Is
We are
there an
asking for the
attempt to
cost.
cover
Okay, and
up,
that cost,
or is it just the
that cost
Congress
has
making
been
mountain
revealed
out of a
already.
molehill? Because at this point of time, when they compare it to the so-called deal with the Congress was cracking, or the Manmohan Singh government was cracking, the fact remains that there was no deal that was concluded at that point of time. Is it fair to compare both?
Ankit, what we can say is that one does not really know the intricacies of what transpired between the Indian and the French government and the company which promotes the aircraft. The fact remains that if it was an intergovernment agreement, that's what it is. If it was an intergovernment agreement, there were two governments involved in it. The government of today is duty bound to carry on that contract, because that's what sovereign nations do. If a nuclear deal is signed by Dr. Manmohan Singh, it will be continued by the next government. That's what this government is saying. Now, the only person who has intricacies and details of this issue is Dr. Manmohan Singh, because he was the head of the sovereign nation which signed the deal. He is a Congress party man. One can actually depend on Dr. Manmohan Singh that he can come out with the details. Now, beyond that, what the government is saying, that there were nearly 6 instances on the floor of the House in Parliament when A.K. Antony, the defense minister, and others made, and even Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, very categorically, when asked about defense deals, said these are secret and confidential and they cannot be shared. There is a history and saga of details being hidden from Indian Parliament. So today to say that the government is hiding it is actually trying to say that this time around the government is hiding something substantial. Earlier it was not. So I think this issue is being made into a controversy since it involves national security. The key is, can the opposition and the Prime Minister and the government get together for a sensible end to this resolution to this crisis?
And the onus of that, Rahul, and the onus of that, Rahul, would lie. The onus of that, Rahul, would...
Ankit, one point.
Quickly, Rahul.
Ankit, the point is that eventually this deal is going to get scrutinized by the CAG.
Yes.
It is not that the deal will not go to the CAG because of state secrets or others. All deals go there. The Congress does not want to wait. It wants to put a corruption tag on the government.
Well, that's for the politics of 2019. But the point, Rahul, the onus, Gopal Agarwal, is on the government to come clean on this. Right now, it seems to be the case where the Congress doesn't have all the facts and it is making allegations. The BJP has all the facts and it is not putting out those, facts on the table. And that is where somewhere in between there is this smell of a scam that Rahul Gandhi is in fact looking at. My point, to you, Gopal Agarwal, is all defense deal and earlier defense deal also have gone through the scrutiny of the Parliament. There have been select committees, there have been privileged committees which have seen at all these deals where the defense chief, the vice chief of various forces have come, given their presentation and made the line clear. Why are you not willing to take the opposition on board and clear this doubt once and for all?
No, Ankit, any amount of rhetoric by Congress will not help. You see, the first basic issue was raised by Rahul on the Rafale deal.
I will not let you answer the question I have asked you, sir. Sir, answer the question that I have asked you. Please don't tell me about the Congress rhetoric. That is for Professor Gaura to answer. You please tell me, why is the government so unwilling to take it to the select committee, bring the experts on that, the chief, and those select committees, mind you, are also secret. I mean, you can't divulge the information there, but at least you can clear the air with the opposition parties being present there.
The deal will be examined by the CAG, as Rahul has also pointed out. Everybody knows that the deal will be scrutinized by the CAG. All details will be available to them. Later on, if that comes to the standing committee on defense and the accounts committee, all these committees already all contracts will come to them. So if the Congress wants some additional things, it has to
why are you
say
unwilling to engage the opposition?
At this point of time, we would like, no, what do you mean by engaging? They first said, you see how every issue they bring out just to disrupt Parliament. First they wanted no confidence motion. The government speaker said government agreed. Then on other issues, whatever, any issue they want to discuss, government has agreed.
Professor Gaura, let's pick up from what Gopal Agarwal is saying. Does the Congress smell a Bofors-like rebuttal or a Bofors-like redux on this, where so far the courts have been unable to prove anything, but the perceptual damage to the Congress was immense? It cost Rajiv Gandhi an election when the scam came through. Is that the same tactic being deployed by the Congress party on this? Damage the BJP before 2019 perceptually, because they are saying that it is only been done to pick up political rhetoric.
See, that is copyrighted by the opposition, by the BJP and its allies. They are the ones who keep throwing mud without any basis. That's what they did with Bofors, and they have not been able to prove anything until now. We are not we do not play those games. We are concerned about national security. We want to get to the truth of the matter. We want to unravel a scam that is going on right now. And that scam deals with the Rafale contract, the fact that the government is hiding under a secrecy clause which does not apply to the overall cost. Nobody is asking for technical or tactical details. We perfectly understand that those are covered under the secrecy clause, but commercial issues are not covered under the secrecy clause. The Dassault company in its annual report has said this is the amount of money that we have made for 36 aircraft sold in 2016 to India. You just do a simple arithmetic there and you will see that the price paid is more than 3 times what the government is claiming that it has paid. Manohar Parrikar, as defense minister, kept saying that the specifications of the new aircraft are the same as what was ordered by the UPA. Why then is the price 3 times that? What happened to why were all procedures flouted by the Prime Minister?
UPA wanted to order but was not ultimately ordered by the UPA because the deal did not go through. I had to take a very quick break. Gentlemen, I request you to stay on with me. I request you to stay on with me. I take that point. Professor Gaura, I take your point. I do agree to what you're saying, that at least, and again, it comes back to the same thing, half facts versus the government, which has all the facts but is unwilling or cagey to put these facts out, which is creating this entire drama. All right, is the Rafale being used as a political cannon fodder just to ensure that there is a perception that is created before the 2019 elections, and on the altar of that, the parliament session is being utilized as the forum? Just so that to clear and just to put it out for the viewers, in the entire Rafale scam, and this was in fact picked up by the defense minister in her reply in the parliament as well, she picked up an exclusive interview of French President Emmanuel Macron that we are going to now play out, in which he had said that there is a secrecy clause, but he also said if the government of India is willing, there's nobody stopping them to reveal the details as they want to. Listen in, we'll go to our guest after this.
No, you'd mentioned the Rafale deal, and this has become a subject of controversy over there, with the opposition Congress saying that the government has paid too much. When the Congress is in power, they negotiated a better deal. What is the truth behind this?
Look, I'm not the one to have negotiated, so I'm very cool about that. I have to say that the negotiation was a win-win approach. Because your government made, according to me, a very good negotiation, because it preserved the industrial interests of India, and especially the fact that a large part of the production is made there, and the industrial interest of people and workers was very much defended by your Prime Minister. On the other side, I think it's a very good agreement, because it's good for your security, because that's the best-in-class aircraft, and I think it's the best way to be protected in the current environment. And it was a very good operation for France, because India was a very important prospect, and because it is one part of this common agreement. So you always have polemics, and it's normal in a democracy between the government and the opposition. But I have to say, I'm not part of the domestic political life in India, but I think your interests were definitely well defended by your government from an economic, industrial, but as well as strategic point of view.
Why can't the details of the deal be revealed and the whole air cleared up, rather than have these accusations go. What is preventing India and France from saying, look, this is what we bought?
I mean, first of all, because you have commercial agreements and obviously you have competitors. And these competitors are not supposed to know some details of the deal because it will not be good for the company itself and for commercial reasons. Every day in our lives, both in India and in France, we don't reveal some information when they have very sensitive, when they are very sensitive for business reasons. And part of the absence of answer on some technical issues is just due to commercial agreements for the interests of the different companies. And second, you have some discussions to be organized by the Indian government, and the Indian government revealed some details of the deal they consider which could be revealed to the opposition and to the parliament. And I'm not the one to interfere into such a discussion, but definitely you have as well a commercial sensitivity for corporates.
All right, so that was the French President Emmanuel Macron, who is in fact was speaking about the commercial agreement, but in the end also, of course, saying that if the government wants it, it's up to them. They have to decide how they want to use it in domestic politics. But the larger question here is, and I want to bring in Professor Gaura first on this. Professor Gaura, by Rahul Gandhi bringing in the French president, using his name, saying that he met him and he told them that there is absolutely nothing that is stopping the government. For domestic politics, aren't we hampering our international image on this? Imagine India already has a very bad track record or an image as far as the defense deals are concerned by bringing in a head of a state of a country which is in fact in agreement with the government over these aircrafts. Aren't we hampering our prospects in future? Is Rahul Gandhi being politically immature by utilizing this?
Well, think about the fact that India is one of the largest arms purchasers in the world, and everyone would love to have our business. Second, the reason why we are difficult on the international arms market is because we want to make sure that there are no middlemen and there is no corruption. And that's why we are difficult. That is something to be praised, not to be considered as immature as we are castigating right now. The basic point is, you heard what Mr. Macron said. He said, commercial interests. Companies don't want to reveal their information to their competitors. Is that national security, my friend? Are we trying to protect certain companies and their competitors from knowing business intelligence? Or are we trying to ensure that our country gets the best deal when it comes to aircraft? So that's the basic bottom line here. This government has flouted all the rules and procedures. That itself is a violation. Second, they have done this in a manner that favors inexperienced and potentially bankrupt cronies.
Gopal Agarwal, this is going to stick to the government. I mean, there are privilege motions being threatened from both the sides. The more you talk about this in the parliament, you put across the privilege motions on this. The only thing that is going to result in is more spotlight on Rafale. Is that a wise strategy by the government to bring out a privilege motion against Rahul Gandhi on this?
Ankit, we have to understand that this kind of debates, etc., in the public domain without having access to the full details of the deal will only create confusion. What the government wants is let this investigation or whatever checking of the deal go through a process through CAG, which have access to all the information. Unless those persons who are investigating the deal do not have access to all the relevant information, everything, etc., how they will decide? Otherwise, this whole episode, this whole issue will be just perception, fight on perception, your wish, what I think, also. So this will only complicate. Nothing will be clarified.
Who clears the air?
And
well, who clears the air on this perception? It is the people in power. It is the people those who are making the deal. If you are unwilling to do so, then you yourself are giving ammunition to the opposition to create this confusion.
Ankit, let me finish 15 more seconds. The thing is, we don't consider Rahul Gandhi to be immature. He knows everything. This is just to create a false perception, false rhetoric in the public that he is doing it.
But
because the
Gopal
government is ready
Agarwal,
to reveal all the details.
It's
to the
interesting.
CAG
Rahul,
or the Parliament
let me bring in Rahul Srivastava on this. Rahul, this is interesting that the BJP accepts that Rahul Gandhi is trying to create a false perception. It is being done with a design, but they are the ones, those who are allowing this perception or this opportunity to Rahul Gandhi.
Ankit, I will not get into the tutu meme between the Congress and the BJP on this. If you listen to Mr. Macron's interview to Mr. Chengappa, he's also saying that the government of India negotiated the deal very well. Now, this is the French government, French head of state. Second, on the other side, the negotiator is the government of India. Will government of India mortgage the interest of the country? The question is open for debate. The other point, what he is saying is that there is no secrecy clause. You can open the details. But remember, there were 19 upgrades to the Rafale which India had ordered. Now, can India on its side reveal those 19 upgrades while giving the details? And another question which needs to be debated at this point, because it is our national security, not the French. So they are saying that your side, that India is free to give the details. So if India wants to give out the details of the avionics and the missiles and others, it is free to do that. But can India do that? It's still a question. Can Congress wait for the CAG report to come out? I say no, because the Congress itself has rubbished the CAG in the past when it said there is zero loss and the CAG report is faulty. The point here is, as you said in the beginning, this, the Congress feels, is a redux of Bofors. It thinks it can pin a corruption charge at the door of the government. The government is messing it up by being obstinate. I think the government can call 2-3 senior opposition leaders, discuss that this is what had happened and this is perhaps where the money went. The problem here is that the breakdown of relationship between the government and the opposition is creating a global controversy.
Yes.
Plus, it is also disrupting Parliament. I think the answer lies with Dr. Manmohan Singh. I will expect Dr. Manmohan Singh to come out clean on what transpired, because his government negotiated the deal. If it was 670 crores, now it is 1700 crores. It is
Rajiv
Dr. Manmohan Singh.
Okay, Rajiv Gowda, are we going to see Rafale deal or the Rafale fight completely washing the session of the Parliament? I mean, should the opposition also not act in a way that it disrupts every session? You want to move the privilege motion. Does that work for the Congress party because you want to keep the focus on the Rafale deal?
Let me just point out how Parliament functions. We file privilege motions today, yesterday, etc., and they will be considered by the Speaker and then admitted at some point, and there will be a whole process after that. Until then, Parliament will continue to function. Today in the Rajya Sabha, we are going to be discussing the Andhra Pradesh issue and the government's betrayal of the state, the BJP and Modi's betrayal of the promises made by the UPA government when Andhra Pradesh was bifurcated. So that's what we're going to be discussing. We're not disrupting Parliament on that account. But it is our job as members of Parliament to point out that there has been a scam here, this national security has been compromised, all procedures of defense procurement violated, all to favor a crony capitalist buddy of the Prime Minister's, and therefore we will be raising this issue inside Parliament and outside. But Parliament is continuing to function, and I expect that we will see a productive session.
Productive session. I mean, we are also expecting that. In fact, that does in fact bring some hope of this session to have some productive consequence in the end. In the end, I just want to give last word to Gopal Agarwal, and you have to be very quick, Gopal Agarwal, because the allegations are not only on the government, it reaches straight to the Prime Minister as far as the Congress is concerned. Why is it that even after this, you are unwilling to engage the opposition? And I'm asking it again, why? Because you could ask the former Prime Minister or senior Congress members to come, or opposition party leaders to come, put the facts out and get this buried once and for all. The government, by not willing to do so, by being confrontive, is only digging a bigger grave for itself.
No, nothing, Ankit. We welcome the Mr. Rajiv Gowda's statement that they will allow the Parliament to function. If they want, they have bring a privilege motion. It is within their right to bring that privilege motion. Let the Speaker decide on the issues. There is no question, but we would request them to let the parliament function. Second thing is
Okay.
on the Rafale deal, that secrecy clause between the French and Indian government is not there. Very clearly, the documents have been put by the defense minister. There is a secrecy clause.
Sir, I'm sorry, you're trying to mislead. There is no secrecy clause between both the governments, between both the companies. Let's make that distinction very clear on that. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us on this debate. I'm completely out of time. I have to wrap this debate up. Gopal Agarwal, Rajiv Gowda, Rahul Srivastava, thank you so much for joining me on this burning question debate. The fact lies between what the government is trying not to tell and what the Congress is thinking that is there. Whether it is a scam or not, only an investigation can tell, but this issue is going to be a big political cannon fodder going up to the 2019 election. It just seems, as of now, nobody cares about the facts. Neither the opposition nor the government. The confrontation on this is only going to grow bigger.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.